Hi everyone, Soulser17 here. Let me first, like usual. I don't own these pictures. I made the thumbnail, not paid video. Okay. So, okay. So basically, I kind of looked at the materia that, Issei can make if he ever needed to. There's like no sort of like resistance to certain things, so I realized that's kind of like the equipment. So I might just make like materia that's specific to some things. And also, I'm kind of going to give him 2 new summons. But you'll see. Also, if you guys did not have the hint yet of what I did with, well, basically the light that shot into Issei in part 3, you'll see what it is. So, God, I should have done this before. I have to go fill up some, water bottle real quick, guys. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so, the episodes I'm going to be trying to cover is 5, 6, 7, and 8. Maybe a little bit of 9, only up to a certain point. But, I don't know yet. So, okay, so let's just get into this. Alright, you already know what part this is. Part 4 of Issei became Sephiroth. So yeah, so basically, oh yeah, I'm also kind of adding someone, basically, to something, to the ship. And also, someone gave me this idea. So my friend gave me this idea, and I just was like, okay-ish, like, I didn't really understand why, but then I was like, wait, why not? Okay, basically, I made Irina, last part, she basically got healed, her stamina was kind of good, but, not 100%. Yeah, this is basically, we're just going to go to right when they're at the school, when basically the field being set up, and Sonia already told Rias and everyone else that she basically prevented going outside the school, but anything, inside and gets destroyed, they like to prevent it. But, the barriers still stay the same as long as, nothing changes. But Sonia isn't, a part of the group yet, you see. When Tsubaki gets there, all of a sudden, everyone sees that, but Issei notices something off with Irina. She basically, for some reason, has a staff. And something flashback happens of basically one of the characters from Final Fantasy VII. A person who he killed. But technically a clone killed. Then he thinks, Aerith? Wait, how could that be possible? I know I was in the live stream and I tried to destroy the planets, but still, that can't be possible, right? Could Aerith have came with me and be reincarnated? As then where, Irina looks at Issei, she goes, Issei, is anything wrong? He goes, not particularly, Irina. I'm glad you're up and walking, but do you think it's very good for you to go back into battle? And she goes, probably not, but hey, I still have to help out any way I can. And, Azia then says, but why do you have a staff? Which then Irina says, I don't know. They did beat me up pretty badly, and, somewhere along the lines I haven't had this dream in a while, but I remember someone with silver hair and bluish greenish eyes looking at me and said some name I can't remember. But I don't know really for sure. But I had a feeling I needed this, so I'm here now to help. As basically Issei is just thinking, that sounded like me, but how is that even possible? Me and my old self merged together. Isn't that a memory? As then he basically, realize what he says to Cloud that one time. He says, "I will never be a memory." So he kind of just chuckles, saying maybe somewhere deep in her mind, he basically is talking to her. He doesn't know for sure. But when she looks at Issei again, she's like, you look different. I haven't noticed it until now. He was like, huh? Which everyone's looking at him, and he was like, for some reason, you always had the same brown hair and brown eyes when I first met you. After I came back. But now, the silver hair and the bluish, greenish eyes. Well, it doesn't really matter, Sephiroth. Let's get this job done with. And he was like, wait, what did you just call me? She was, Issei. What do you think I said? He was like, I must be hearing fancy things. Before, anything could, get into more discussion on that, Sonia says, Issei, can we please talk? He's like, sure. We can. So, basically, Rias just tells him to make it quick, and he nods. So he basically is walking with Sonia away from everyone. And she goes, how are you able to summon the Leviathan? He goes, oh yes, it's because of, your older sister. She is, basically her title's called Leviathan. You see, the Leviathan I summoned is basically from another dimension, where it's technically a god, as he said, quote unquote, but it's basically just a mythological creature where I come from. It lives in its own, you can say, pocket dimension. And she goes, oh, so is there really any way to summon it? He's like, yes, you have to be the perfect being. And she's like, what? And then he just, like, I'm sorry, I had to make that joke, but no, you cannot summon it, because you had to have something that you would not be able to, even handle. No one in this world could ever handle what needs to be, the object to summon out the Leviathan, or any summon. And she goes, I see. So, that means, you technically can summon the Leviathan. Doesn't that mean that you technically are also, you could say, a Leviathan? And he's like, no. Just because I can summon one does not mean I am one. There's the two different concepts of that. But, Sonya just says, well, it doesn't really matter right now. But anyways, I really want to say this. I was impressed with how you basically use its power. And, basically she kind of just asked him to, come in closer because he's a little bit taller than her. So basically when he kneels, not kneels down, but, bends down a little, she really did find his power very, how should she say this properly? And he's like thinking to himself, what is happening? As all of a sudden she just kisses him on the cheek. As he gets a little bit red, and she goes, now you know. He goes, do you? And, she has a little bit of a blush, and then she goes, you have to figure that for yourself. Figure that out for yourself. As he thinks, don't tell me the student council president has a crush on me. What's happening to me? So, Ria saw that, and she's like, what? Did someone just kiss Issei on the cheek? No, I must be seeing things right? So after that, basically she goes, Sonia, did you? He goes, and Ria saying this, and she goes, what? Did you? Yes. I can see why you may like him a lot, Rias. As basically Tsubaki, it's like, Sonia, she goes, come in. And basically, she basically, starts helping out holding the barrier together. Which Rias is thinking, I have another rival. As basically when Issei comes back, he's just like, what happened? As Drake is saying, partner. He goes, yes? Are you okay? He's like, no, No, I'm not. I do not know what is happening. Why is it that I have no, three devils in love with me? Well, I mean, I care for Asia and Rias, Akano, Kanako, and, well, technically Irina, but something's up with Irina, and what is wrong with Sonia? He goes, easy. Basically, since you basically can summon the Leviathan anytime you want, and basically their name is Leviathan, her sister, she'll basically the next in line to obtain the Leviathan title. So doesn't that mean then if you basically are together with her, she basically asks you to always assist her in any, combat situation and always have that by her side. And also, remember, you are the Red Dragon Emperor. Basically, no matter what, your power will be well. He's like, don't tell me I'll be attracting basically anyone, like basically people to me, especially girls. Like, I mean, a lot of girls. He goes, yes, you will. He's like, I see. I did not take that into account. Noted. And plus, with my already power, yes. And then basically, Irina kind of like puts her hair into a ponytail now instead of the two ponytails, so just one. And he's like, Irina, are you sure you want to be in this battle? Just, I'll handle support, okay? And don't worry about it. I'll keep Asia, safe. I do know a few magic spells, that's offense. And he goes, maybe I should try something. So, basically, while they're walking, like, Issei's quiet. He's basically trying to make his old, voice, his old sephiroth voice. As basically, when he basically is, walking into the barrier, he goes, so, we meet again, Aerith. As then, well, she basically turns around, gets in a, fighting stance, as no one else did, but he goes, and then he goes back to his Issei voice. No offense, all the other people in the Parage, Rias, Akano, Kanako, Asia, some of the people from Sonia, like Sonia Tsubaki, did his son change of voice, and their faces are kind of red, but, Irina is, having the staff out as basically, well, she's like, Sephiroth? And, well, he goes, so, you're the reincarnation of Aerith. Tell me, how are you even here? I know I didn't bring you here at all. And she goes, oh, now I remember. Yeah, I remember some things, including you. I mean, the last thing I remember is that he goes, don't, please don't. Please don't mention that. Let's just move on from that, please. And she goes, well, I'll have a talk about this later, Issei. But, and basically she walks up to, Issei and hugs him, saying, I'm glad you changed for the better. And he just pats her on the head and goes like, if Cloud could see you now, he would be happy. And she goes, yeah, just don't, as then basically she pokes him in the stomach and goes, that's me. He's like, I won't! We're basically childhood friends now. Why would I ever want to hurt you? She goes, good point. As basically, Reese is like, huh? He was like, you already know what I done. Remember the whole entire massacre? And I also killed a girl named Aerith. And she's like, wait, does that mean? He goes, yes, somehow in some way, she is the reincarnation, or at least have some of her memories. I will have to go into her mind and see. I don't know how it's going to do that, probably, but hey. We'll just have to know. So, after that, they technically go to where everything's happening. But Issei along the way made a couple of things. You see, he made Ifrit summoning. He basically then made speed up, materia. The summon materia, the support materia, he made the speed up, and basically puts them into the gauntlet. And then, he basically hopes this will be enough. Basically, though, he already got rid of the weight on him, and well, he knows he's gonna be strong. He needs to be stronger, strong enough. So, what happens is this: you see, when they arrive, the process of the holy swords are basically, or should I say, the pieces of Excalibur are basically being combined, and so Kokabiel say, "Hope you guys can entertain me. Here, I'll summon out my pets." As basically they have Cerberus, as Issei just says, "All of you save your strength. I can handle this." As he takes out his sword. And so, he's walking forward. As then Irina, or Aerith, comes along. And he was like, "Huh? Just, you're in need of a healer. And I know you have infinite magic. But, well." As then he goes, "So you have it too, huh?" He goes, "Yep, just a little thing that helps out with the live stream." He's like, "Alright. I know we never worked together, but I'll cover you as much as I can." Because, right, she basically says to him, "So, Issei, he takes on all three Cerberus. Each one basically tries to launch an attack. With his speed up materia, he's able to keep up with all three of them. And so, he basically slashes one of their legs off. And then all of a sudden, he basically summons out a big giant buffalo, iceberg, and then smacks it down right onto one. In which Kokabiel's thinking, who is this boy? He seems interesting. And right when one is about to hit Issei from behind, all of a sudden, little ice, shards are hidden one of the Cerberus heads that are about to bite him. And he's looking behind as then he cuts it in half. It's basically Rias and all of them are kind of shocked by this. You see, the process for the Holy Sword was actually done a lot more quicker because, Freed says, "That kid who has the silver hair, the weird eyes, yeah, we need to hurry this up. Hurry." So, yeah, they did. They started it way early. And so, Irina basically use a Thunder God, which then hits the Cerberus, as then Issei just uses the boosted gear times 4, punches up there, then boosted himself 2 times 10, and yells out "Dragon Shot" as he basically punches it, sending it flying. And so, after the dust cleared and he basically defeats all the Cerberus with Irina, he goes, "You sure you want to still use this sword afterwards? It'll be quite nice to basically see you use magic again." And she goes, "Come on, Issei. You're not talking the normal way you usually do. All calculative and, calm, cool, and collected." He goes, "I feel a little bit of nostalgia. Can't help it, Aerith." And she goes, "Don't call me that, it's Irina." He goes, Fine. Besides, I don't have to, use my voice to act like my old self at least." As, basically, let's just say this. Some stuff are technically going exactly the same. The thing is, Issei wants to see, tells Irina not to get into the fight with, basically with Freed. So, he basically wants Kiva, because he's basically sensed Kiva's magic is skyrocketing. So, everything that happens with Kiva the same. And then, basically he destroys the whole, the basically mismatch, sword. Which, basically Zenobia came in and tried to get an attack, which, did not work. But Kiva's attack did. That was a distraction. As in, when the mad priest doctor of the Holy Sword Project basically dies at Kokabiel, Zenobia just says, "Irina, sure." She goes, "Yep, I can use magic with this." And she was like, "Huh?" She goes, let's just say this. Me and her are from the same dimension. Don't ask questions how. Even I don't understand how she followed me. But anyways, it seems like this is gonna be quite an interesting battle, don't you think? And well, yeah. And she goes, should I call you, Issei or Sephiroth? In which Nezanova goes, wait, Sephiroth? Isn't that the same guy you basically write about in a diary, some sort of, as then basically, she goes, even like comes around, goes like, don't reveal it, and he was like, huh? She goes, it's nothing. As if basically he thinks, I'm gonna ask Zenobia about that later. But, right now, Kokabiel. So, what happens is, Kokabiel finds everything way more interesting than he ever believes. So he basically comes down while he's, just to enough where he can just fly. As he goes, right, so, come at me, Grammarly family. Or Grammarly Perage, basically Reese's Grammarly, but anyways. Yeah, little sister Lucifer. Come at me, basically. As everyone's basically, trying to fight him. Everyone's having a hard time. Irina and Issei technically are, waiting for a moment. Because Issei knows something. He basically can feel it. Like, he knows he's at least stronger than Kokabiel. But for some reason, his instincts are telling him not to. But Irina says, why are you not attacking? He's like, I need to see something. Something's off. Just, what do you mean? And so, what happens is this. While everyone's attacking, Rias tries to do her attack. As then, Kokabiel says, I'm bored. Come, fight me. Basically Surzek's sister, used the power of the dragon, Red Dragon Emperor, as Issei goes, oh, so that's what he wants to do. So basically, he holds his sword in his left hand, he's walking over, he's boosting, while basically over. So he basically boosts as much as he can until he can transfer. So basically 20 times boost and transfer that power over to Rias. And so the exact same thing will happen. But Issei goes, I figured as much. As Rias goes like, huh? What do you mean? He goes, don't worry. I got this. As all of a sudden, one of the red materia glows. Basically, it's the one above Leviathan. Basically, there's like a flaming symbol on it. He says, in the first moment, a flame was born. This flame was given to humanity by a god of flame. I summon thee to me, the one who can burn the world to ash and leave nothing in its wake. Ifrit! As when he basically raised up his fist, all of a sudden, a fire pillar erupts from the ground. As Kokabiel says, this is very intriguing. So, after a few minutes, basically, if you see the Final Fantasy remake of Ifrit, yeah, that is this creature that was summoned. As it looks around and he goes, Ifrit, I need your help. As he looks, he goes, Sephiroth, why should I help you? He goes, this is a different dimension. The only reason why you are here because I summoned you. No one else can ever do that. And besides, let's see if we can roast a turkey. Or should I say a chicken? As basically Ifrit looks at Kokabiel, and then it just starts laughing. He goes like, I hate that you basically were able to one-shot me. He goes, that was after Zack took you down most of the time. But hey, let's see if you can, we can at least work together. As Ifrit nods. And so while it walks over, it basically starts to get covered in flame. It goes like, I am different than when I was in the old world. In this one, I am the flame that will cover your weapon. And so Issei puts up his sword, as when he basically, hits the flame, his sword gets encased in fire. As Kokabiel makes a sword of light. He goes, show me a good time, Red Dragon Emperor! So, Issei jumps up in the air and slashes down, trying to, destroy one of Kokabiel's wings. Basically, when he slashes, Kokabiel is able to stop it, but he notices his light sword's burning. As he says, "Is this all you got? Is this everything? You're supposed to be a high class. Well, fallen angel, supposed to be stronger than anyone I've ever faced." As basically he pushes down just a little bit more, Kokabiel gets sent flying. But the thing is, Kokabiel gets up and he just starts laughing. He goes, "Who knew this red dragon had this much power without a boost?" As Issei, stops. He stops falling because he lands on the ground. As he then notices something is off. He goes, "What the?" As the flames of Ifrit are basically turning gold. As what happens next is even way more shocking. As when the flames are turned gold, it covers the whole entire weapon. As then it makes a face. As it's not Ifrit, if you guys are wondering, it goes like, then basically this face says, "Are you the Cain? Are you the new Cain?" He goes, "What? Are you the new Cain?" He goes, I believe so. What am I the king of?" As then, all of a sudden, well, because we never see what the actual picture of Excalibur looks like in the High School DxD world, so imagine what it looked like was Final Fantasy XIV's Excalibur. Yeah, my friend basically told me in most of the Final Fantasy games, Excalibur is always there, so I thought, why not bring out a version of it? So I like the 14 look. Basically, what happens is this: the whole time Ifrit says, "Do not worry. Do not worry, Sephiroth. I am still here." He's like, "What the? Where are?" As all of a sudden, Ifrit's flames are starting to cover around his arm. As then, that golden light, that golden flame that was on, basically, his sword that was making the face, turns into a golden light. As it makes an image of Excalibur, Final Fantasy XIV version. As everyone is shocked. But then, all of a sudden, Mako starts to make the blade even extend. So, kind of imagine Sonic and the Black Knight final boss Excalibur mode. Armor and such. Yeah, imagine that. But then, all of a sudden, from this little, from this golden light, a little circle is formed as it flew out of it. And he goes, "Wait, that's Mako and a materia. Why is it gold?" As all of a sudden, the materia goes into the crystal of the balance breaker as it seeps in and makes a dragon eye. As Drake says in Issei mind, was like, "What is this materia?" It says it's the Knight of the Round. He's like, "Wait, Knight of the Round." Let me just double check that. I think I said it wrong. Yep, I was right. The Knights of the Round. As Drake says, he goes, "Wait, I remember that." Which Drake says, "What? What is this?" It's a summon materia. It's basically a attack that, a summon that basically, if we were going by gamer standpoint, it does 9,999 damage each hit. Which Drake says, that's impossible. How could you even have this summon?" It was, I couldn't. Cloud did. I heard of it, but I tried to get it beforehand. Only Cloud was able to take it. But why me now? Why only me? No, not only me. Why me this time? As then all of a sudden he basically hears a voice, or should I say, a voice that then he sees an image right in front of him. It's basically the same knight, or the same person that was there. He goes, "Like I said, you're the next Cain. The Cain of Camelot. And I already, how should I say this? I already have technically great-great-great-grandson, whatever. How many great-grandson? But I believe my sword chose you. This isn't the actual Excalibur since it was broken apart. But this is the spirit version of it. And, well, let's just say, whatever those, well, were that I met that basically said I need to look for a new, well, successor, my sword already knew that, and it was already looking. I just went along for the ride. They wanted me to, well, to bring them with you. Well, not with you, I mean with me, to find you. They said you were worthy, since you changed. So, have fun with this new power of yours, King. I was basically also in the spirit fate of King Arthur. Basically, you're probably thinking, why isn't that like all, medieval talk or something? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna make him like nonchalant about it because technically he's dead. He's been around for like who knows how long. So, yeah. So basically, Issei just chuckles as everyone's just seeing the actual like Excalibur forming, in his hand. Kiva is shot, Zenobia is shot, Irina is shot, Riz is shot. It's just, but how? How can you have a holy weapon? As Issei doesn't say nothing, he just looks at Kokabiel, and he goes, Kokabiel, you basically want to destroy my town, my home, everyone I love and cared in this, well, town/city. So you must pay with your life. Knight of the Round! As when he basically says that, there's a glow from him, the actual crystal in the gauntlet. As then, basically, portal open. 12 knights appear, taking the form of the Knights of the Round Table in the High School DxD world. As then, when the portal starts to get smaller, it gets enlarged, as then King Arthur arrived as it walks through. As it actually looks like King Arthur in that world, like from that world. As basically Issei's looking at Kokabiel, as Kokabiel's seeing this, he's thinking, what the? Vali is watching this, and he's saying, just what is this? Who is he? The Red Dragon Emperor isn't supposed to be this powerful. As basically Albion silent, and he's just thinking, Red One, how do you even have this strong of a host? As then Drake is saying, what's going on? What is happening? Everyone's confused, as then when Issei says, they hear two voices, and he goes, Knights of the Round Table, it's time to have an execution. As all of them just start going toward Kokabiel, and each one does an attack that feels like agonizing pain to him. So when it comes to Issei's turn, he just sees Issei's holding his sword, swings down as basically, he is technically screaming out of pain. All of his wings basically were like cut down, no more feathers. And so, but then all of a sudden, Issei says, I'm not done yet. As then he says, Supernova. As, well, when everyone hears that, they're like Irina is probably thinking, he's going to create a world of just, like the area's going to shatter and then in their own dimension. But no, Issei hits Kokabiel as it shatters the dimension. As then when, basically they're gone for a few minutes. So each time he hits Kokabiel, it shatters the dimension until he gets into a final hit. As when he does that, Kokabiel can see the sun. He's, going into it. He's saying, no, what's going on? No, I can't die. As, well, Issei just says, basically just not looking at Kokabiel and looking away, as in all of the Knights of the Round Table along with King Arthur are basically, Issei's in front of all of them. King Arthur's right behind him. As in he just says, fall into despair, you fallen angel. And so, right when that happened, all of a sudden, it basically, the area that he basically shattered, re-shatters as Kokabiel falls. Basically, yeah, he basically became a little bit burnt. Like, his wings are burned a little. As then Issei just floats down. As the summons were already gone. As then all of a sudden, like, Kiba comes over to him. He's like, How? How do you have Excalibur? He goes, This ain't it. This ain't even Excalibur. As when he swings it, it just goes into a golden mist. As then basically his arm was on fire the whole entire time. And basically it just like starts to go back towards the sword. And then Ifrit says, I am done. I came here for what you needed. And Issei says, thank you. I appreciate the help. As then Ifrit disappears. As then Zenobia is even wondering, so keep it asking him, then what was it? He goes, it was a spirit version of the sword. King Arthur died with it in his hands. So, the sword wanted to be used again. And since it could only been used in spirit because all the other pieces of it were not around. This is the only way. Pretty impressive, right? He's like, you know how many people have died? And then all of a sudden you can just use it? He goes, you had to be worthy. I guess. As basically, Kiba's just like dumbfounded, but then he kind of just laughs a little. And he goes, I guess you're right. But, Issei, if that's the spirit of it, what does that mean? He goes, well, I've been feeling weird and why a holy sword or the church, like, any church items do not affect me. So, because I basically have the spirit of this Excalibur inside of me, or at least a part of me, that means I'm not affected by any holy weapons. Which, that kind of is a big shock to everyone. So, they kind of, like, everyone kind of laughs about it. Irina, basically starts, cheering, but then also Kokabiel's getting up. And he goes, well, this is a surprise. That there was even a holy devil sword. And Excalibur merged with a devil? No wonder why this stuff would happen. After all, he's not around no more. As when everyone hears that, and Issei goes like, who's not around? And he goes, oops. I guess I even slipped. Alright, I'm trying to start a war, so why not? So he basically says the exact same thing about God is dead. Irina's, basically mind is about to shatter, but then she kind of remembers something. She remembers her past life as, Aerith. Some of the stuff and how her attitude was. No matter how bleak the moments were, she always had a positive attitude. But still, her faith isn't broken, but it's gonna be like Azia. She's still gonna do what she wants to do. Still does her, praying and all that. But she knows. But the thing is, Issei suddenly snaps his fingers and somewhat erases her memory of it. Because he did not want Irina to, basically have a mental breakdown. So, Azia does, Zenobia does. Basically Zenobia goes on her knees, and Issei did cut Irina, puts her down gently near a tree, and catches, Azia. In which, if you guys are wondering why how he's still alive, it's freaking Kokabiel. Like, he's basically supposed to be near the strength of Surzax, and Issei is above it. Including the summon and this attack. Yes, Kokabiel is technically dying, but slowly. So, basically, Zenobia says she just passed out. Anyone would have passed out by hearing this. And, well, what happens next is, after Issei basically gets back, he just chuckles. He goes, so, in this dimension, God is dead. Well then, I guess you don't know who I am. As when he basically, has his sword in his hand, he goes, I'm even surprised you're able to even, stand up and talk, Kokabiel. But I guess a stubborn fool who survived a great war would always be that way. I think I slacked off. And normally when I fight my opponents, they're not able to get back up. But you did. I guess I have to finish this. But as he basically puts down his sword, basically puts his sword into the ground. He just says, "But I'll show you a glimpse of my true power." And so he yells out, "Balance Breaker!" As he does go into Balance Breaker mode, in which he then stops. He was basically all the time. He was basically keeping his magic level low, or slash aura low. As when he goes into Balance Breaker mode, it is high, which Kokabiel is kind of surprised. But then when he basically stops holding back everything, it just skyrockets. Which, yeah, basically everyone in Reese's Parage is not really shocked, but Zenobia is, and Kokabiel, and Vali, he is very shocked. Basically, somewhere in near the city, in the city, Zazel says, "Huh, so the Devil Boys finally stopped holding back. Interesting. I didn't expect him to be this high." And it seems like Kokabiel's near his last line. As then, Issei just says, "I don't want you to die right away." So, as he snaps his fingers, then he basically hears full cure spell. So, he basically gets full cured. He goes, "What? I'm fully healed." He goes, "Yes, but you're not gonna survive." So Issei dashes forward, in which Kokabiel tries to make a light spear. When he throws it, he basically just punches right through, as it basically was a 7 times boost. As then he, starts, basically doing another boost, and then says explosion. So 8 times boost, and Kokabiel gets his, everything beaten. So what happens to Kokabiel is, when Issei throws him up in the air, he's about to do a dragon shot. But then all of a sudden, a white light appears and grabs Kokabiel, as then lands to where Ifrit is. As Issei looks, he goes, "The White One. The White Dragon Emperor, I presume." As basically, Vali says, "Yes. Red Dragon Emperor." As basically, Albion says, "Red One, it seems you have it seems you have gotten a strong partner in this life." He goes, "Yes. There are many surprises with him that I, never expected." "And there are still more to come, I believe." He goes, "Yes. When the time is right, when the time is right, we'll fight again." And then Drake says, "As it is as it always shall be." Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's basically, Vali says, "We'll be taking him. Good day." As then he basically flies off. Issei deactivates his armor and goes over to his sword, out of the ground, and basically picks it up. He goes, "Seems like that's over with." As everyone is shocked by this. And so Irina goes like, "Well, it looks like you basically got a new power-up. I'm kind of really surprised how strong you are with your boosted gear." He's like, "Yes. Wait. He basically altered memories. It's not gonna be like, the fight, his beating was, not quick. He basically took his time. So it was like a good 20-minute beating for Kokabiel by Issei. So Irina had enough time to wake up, and she was surprised about his, boosted gear strength and how much power he can handle. But he says, I can handle a lot more than, an 8 times boost. 10 times I would have been overboard. And she goes, really? He goes, yes. Do you remember anything what he said? She goes, no. Why? He goes, no reason. But anyways, how did you even come into this world, Aerith? How do you even find this dimension? She goes, oh, well, I noticed you were leaving, and I kinda just followed. And, well, got reincarnated. He goes, so that means you remember all your spells that you know? She goes, somewhat, but, hey, I mean, at least we became childhood friends. He's like, true. I promise I will not do what I did last time. She goes, good. He goes, can you go back to your other, 2 ponytails or pink tails? She goes, yeah, I kind of like that look. So she does that. And, well, after that, Kiba would do exactly the same thing. Everything would go the same. Hold on. And when Zenobia, joins, it kind of goes the same, but with Issa, Rina just has a book. He goes, oh, you're joining. This will be quite interesting. She basically also brought, Zenobia even brought Rondal, her sword, so they know about it. So it was like a good addition. Basically, she says, well, actually, Zenobia would say everything apologized to, Azia because she got the same treatment that Azia did. But when it came to Irina, aka, well, Aerith basically telling her, saying why did she, not coming? That did not happen. She goes, so you're not coming back with me? I mean, I'm kind of surprised that, you basically became a devil and the church was okay with it. She goes, yes, so was I. And, she basically goes over to, Zenobia and hugs her, and she goes, you're not mad? She goes, no, actually, I'm kind of glad. She goes, huh? Why? He goes, well, promise me this, okay? Keep Issei in line. She's like, huh? Why? He goes, well, it seems like he's, can be stupid at times, so I want you to make sure nothing bad ever happens to him, and so keep him in line for me, please. And she goes, sure. I'll try my best. I promise. And she's good. And besides, it's your choice. I'm not gonna judge you for what you choose, Zenobia, but I'm still your friend, okay? And she does not. She goes, thank you. It's no problem. Well, bye. Basically, she just leaves. And basically, she kind of said that, to them. As then Issei goes, I guess Aerith's personality is coming out. She's basically a very forgiving person. And also very understanding. So, she can probably understand why. She goes, what do you mean? She goes, well, she probably thinks that there was something that you did not like about the current state you were in. So, she basically thinks that you want a sudden change of pace. And besides, here, everything's kind of, how should I say this? Basically, Azia says, fun! And he goes, yes, fun. Now then, let's enjoy the rest of the day. And, basically, Zenobia nods. And, technically, we would have the exact same thing with the karaoke, but it's with Kiba, Soji. Basically, Sonia came, Azia, and basically her friend, Kiruri, So, basically, Issa gets some text messages, basically the same thing, like in canon from Rias and Akano. Oh wait, I did forget. Everyone did find out about basically Kokabiel, Kokabiel saying about Akino's father, and basically how he was basically making fun of Rias and stuff. So Issei kind of did say something along, like somewhere along, okay, sorry, somewhere on the lines of this. He's basically says, "Can you just stop talking already? I don't let." No, well, it's kind of something like that, but it's like, don't ever make fun of my friends, especially Akino and Rias. Basically just like that, somewhat similar to the speech that he gave to him in the first place, but at the same time, it's different. I kind of forget what it was, but I know it's basically just saying don't make fun of Akino and Rias. Basically, like that. That he's gonna kick his butt for basically even talking and like crap about them. So yeah. So basically, it's just like that, but it's way more threatening. I forgot about that part. So I very ended the fight. So yeah, I forgot I wanted to put that in. But so when Issei looks at his phone, he basically sees them. He's like, well, this is something. And then he closes his phone, and Azia says, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yes, it's just I never expected something from those two." Then he basically says he's gonna go get a drink, and so he does. Kiba says he, thanking him. He was like, "Don't worry about it. You're part of a family, so we always have our problems." And also, how do you feel about Rias's? He was like, "Still sore." He goes, "Right." Anyways, huh? And then he looks at his phone. He gets a phone call. He goes, "Wait, now?" Yeah. Okay. Be there soon. Yes. So he, hangs up. He goes like, "A call, contract." He was like, "Yeah, it's one of my off days, but this is one of my contracts. So yeah, he's pretty much my regular. So I have to go to him." And basically, he was like, "Yeah." So anyways, he basically finished his drink, puts it down. He was like, "Anyways, Kiba, see you around." He goes, "Yeah." So a magical circle appears in the air, as then Issei just walks right through it, arriving at Zazel. So Issei and Zazel play some games. And, well, after Issei loses, he goes, I noticed you have a lot of collection of almost every single console that ever been made." And he goes like, Zazel says, "Yeah, I know. I can't help myself. As soon as I get into, something, I get totally immersed and obsessive with it." As then Issei just says, "Really? I should have figured that much. I mean, I figured, Kokabiel probably said something on the lines when I was fighting Cerberus. So, I only pay attention to that part." "Isn't that right, Zazel?" Which, when Zazel basically stands up, he was already standing up when he said that. He goes, "You're not," he goes like, "I can easily sense fallen angel powers within you, or a part of you. It was totally simple. Besides, I don't really care. Basically, what do you want?" He was like, nothing much." So he kind of just tells Issei the exact same thing he would in canon. And when Issei relayed this back to Rias, well, how should I say this? She basically is mad and how basically he should. How dare you try to even get near to my precious, servant as such. As then he says, "Trust me, I can handle myself, Rias. It's no problem. And besides, it's actually quite fun meeting him. And I get to see what type of person Zazel was. So, it's fine by me." Which I was kind of shocked by this. So, after that, basically they would technically have to clean up the pool, and Kiba would technically try to thank Issei, say if he ever needs some help, he always come run, he always will help him. He's like, "Thanks." As then all of a sudden his arm starts to hurt. He's like, "What the?" As he sees it, it's basically looks like it's transforming. So yeah, he basically asks Akano for help, which she does. And, well, after she's done, basically Issei just sighs. He was like, my apologies again. Still, I can't get near like people that with strong auras, or my arm will transform no matter what. This just stinks. And she goes, well, it can't be helped. But anyways, Issei, so you want to have some fun? He's like, wait, what type of fun? She goes, what do you think? And he just like, for a minute, old Issei came back. Then it basically left. He's like, if you're talking about that fun, I'm sorry. I will, well, I'm basically, don't want to basically rush into that. We know each other for a while now, and, well, Maria says exactly the same thing to me one time. She was like, huh? And he basically then whispers what, he thinks she was meaning, and then she basically does saying, oh, clever. It's like, yeah, but hey, basically he kind of just like gets her off of him gently, puts her down. He goes like, I'm not rejecting you because, well, of your looks or personality. It's just, it's complicated. That's all. So he basically walking out, but then when about to walk out the door, when Rias opens it, she goes, he goes, well, hello there, Rias. Sorry it took so long. There was a lot more power in, well, the transformation than we thought. She just got done. Isn't that right, Akano? She was, yeah. In which, well, after that, they all technically get changed, for the pool. And, Akano, fills up the pool with water. And, well, Issei just enjoys a swim. A normal swim until Rias asks, Issei! He's like, so he basically like, huh? He sends over to where, Rias is and everything, and he basically gets up out of the water. He goes, yeah, what's up? She does say, can you help, well, Kaneko here? Teach her how to swim? He was like, sure. As then all of a sudden, Akano basically comes up from behind and hugs him. In which Rias is like, huh? So, well, Akano just says, Issei, I want to thank you for what you said to Kokabiel. He's like, about how he shouldn't be talking about you like that, and it doesn't matter where you come from, right? Just, and, well, basically she kisses him on the cheek, which then Rias gets, Rias basically has an aura around him, and he's like, you shouldn't have done that. She goes, why? I want to basically just say my thanks. As basically, Akano basically says, I'm not going to lose to you, Rias. I really, basically have fallen for him, which, for some reason, I don't know how they can always, tell what everyone's thinking, so, basically she just gives her a look as Rias is thinking, no, this is my Issei. And as then Issei is right in the middle, he's like, why? Basically, he looks at Kaneko, he's like, let's just start your swimming lesson. She goes, right. So, yeah. So basically, he just says 1, 2, 1, 2 to her while she's kicking. As then he just starts thinking, I really never knew how to swim in my old life. I mean, there was a material that allowed us to breathe on the water, but still, this is really fun. As when he chuckles, she goes, why are you laughing? He was like, oh, not at you, it's because I just remembered something from my old life. That's all. As then when she basically hits the wall, he holds on to Kaneko because, well, she's learned how to swim and it's a deep pool side, I think. Give him a minute. And so she goes, he just asks Kaneko, like, hey, you okay? He goes, yeah, I'm fine. He goes, well, that's good. She goes, you really are nice. For what you used to be. He goes, a perv? She goes, He goes, look. a lot of stuff I just got in trouble because I was my own stupidity or my own mistakes. Or by accident, really. But I'm not that way no more. Because I know you have changed a lot. And so, Rias and Akino having the exact same thing that happens. You know, swimming, like, contest or something. As in, Issei just sighs and be like, you want to try to go all the way to the other side, or you want Asia's, to, help? Me to help her. As she just says, either one's fine. So he basically helps Kaneko get to the other side, and then he helps Asia swim. And, well, let's just say this. Issei, when Rias asks for him to rub oil on her back, he's like, sure. And he does, and he doesn't, and that's all he does. But she's thinking, he's definitely not, I keep forgetting he's not the pervert no more. As in when, Akino comes over, she basically, well, she does what she does in canon, but Issei does not react to it. Because he does internal screaming. And she's thinking, why is he not reacting to this way? I know he changed, but he could have. I know he changed because of his personality, but there has to be some old Issei in there. And then he just looks at, Akino, but his face is red. So she goes, oh, it's still a reaction. As I see, Ryu's saying, like, Akino, I don't know what's going on with you, but, this is my Issei, basically. And then, Akino basically says, well, I think she wants to basically make him his. So he basically just, makes an illusion, and, he was still there, and he just left. He basically gets away from all that, while basically he hears explosions. He hears his snap his fingers. And, the illusion deactivates. He's like, huh. So he sees Novia, and he says hi to her. And same thing will happen in canon. But the only difference is, before she even, got a chance to hug him, he just activated another illusion and, got all the way to the door. She's like, come on, let's have some. And then he's like, wait, I'm not old enough to basically have a father. He's like, it doesn't matter, I'll raise them by myself. He's like, no, that's not right. Besides, that'll just mean I was using you. I rather want to become your friend, Zenobia. That's only fair. She's like, what? But, he was, seriously. It's only fair that basically I get to know you first, and besides, as the illusion goes away, he was like, you couldn't even, keep me trapped. And, I really wouldn't make a good father anyways. And then he opens the door and he just walks out. In which, he just goes back to everyone else, and, you kind of see some stuff is, damaged, and he goes, sighs. He's like, we are going to have to fix this. So, yeah. So, basically, after that, nothing really happens besides, Sir's ex coming to, basically, for the parents be able to come to school and observe them, so, Okay, so, what happens next is simple. Basically, he talks that night after, Sir's ex came over to Issei's place. He basically, said goodnight to Rias and Azia and Griffia, and then he sighs, be like, whew, okay, since you're here, how about, you sleep on a better place than that bed. He's like, huh? Than the floor. He's like, what do you mean? As then a magical circle appears. When Issei basically touches it, all of a sudden the room gets bigger and larger, and more furniture appears. And he was like, what the? Sir says, he was like, kind of like my own pocket dimension, sort of. Anything I want, I can make here. And besides, here, as he basically, just has a bed, like, bed of a couch. The couch was like a bed almost. So yeah, which then Sex is like, how you able to do this? He was like, why? He was like, this must require a lot of magic. He was like, yeah, it does, but it's basically easy to maintain. So Sex gets quite curious. He was like, so, tell me about yourself, Issei. He goes, it's better if I just show you. So he kind of shows all the things to Sir Zex, and I mean, like, all the things. When he showed, like, everyone else in the Parage, besides Zenobia, that was, like, the basic stuff they need to know. He basically shows everything to Sir Zex. And so Sir Zex does have a tear and does hug Issei. And then after a few minutes of that, after, he'd pat his back, he lets go. He says, I'm sorry for that. I understand. It's fine. So then he goes, but anyways, what do you think of my sister? He goes, well, your sister is very, how should I say this, unique, like everyone else. She basically has this certain side of her that's, well, nice and kind, but then the strict side. But we don't even talk about the one that's in between. She was desperate at the time, so I can't really be mad at her. And he goes, so, you care for my sister? He was like, yes, Sir Zex, I do. Well, that's good. It's good that she has friends. It was, yeah. Anyways. After that, they would tell him we go in school. So really, everything would go the same besides the art class because Issei just creates a version of Cloud. And it's like, he asked for the paint, which he was allowed to get, and then he paints it. But he did change some things, just to make fun of Cloud. So, yeah. But anyways, after that, Issei and Azia and Rias were basically just walking out to school when he sees Issei's father talking to someone. So everything would kind of go exactly the same. Even with the whole entire, Rias going upstairs, Issei, going up there, trying to comfort her. She asks, I think she would ask though, do you regret ever meeting me? So Issei just says truthfully, he was like, at first, when I met you, I really didn't care at all. I didn't really want to care, but over time, I started to. Started caring about you, Rias. It's not because of, well, anything that you may think. It's basically because of your personality. And your outlook on things. And also your determination. Even though you were willing for my death to happen. She was, yeah, sorry. He was like, it's fine. So, I really think that I can also trust you. So, yeah. So, before he can even say anything, Rias would kiss him on the lips. Then Azia walks in and turns off the light, saying that's no fair. So then Sir Zex would then tell, well, Rias to basically unlock the door that's basically sealed. And then basically we are introduced to Gasper. So nothing really happens with him, around with Gasper, I don't think. But besides, Issei has been training a lot. He's basically been trying to figure out a way that, well, help out with any problems with the, well, White Dragon Emperor and, well, he doesn't know about Azazel, but, fallen angels. Just to try, just in case, one will try to attack him anytime soon. He wants to try to, do some stuff ahead of time. So, yeah. But, I really don't see nothing what happens besides Issei training. So, then, training Gasper will help out. So, that all goes the same besides Issei telling him about his dream. and he basically says he's always been strong. So yeah. But anyways, that's not a problem. But hey, it's just like what goes to the meeting. Next part will be the whole entire rest of the rest of the stuff. I'll be trying to get that out before I go to work tomorrow, but I do have to make a call to someone, so it may be out tomorrow night. But anyways, hope you guys have a nice night, day, wherever you are, and bye everyone.